Okay, these are the gas instructions for the fridge. You just open the door and everything's right there. Pretty self-explanatory. I did go to the outside of the unit and was trying to take the cover off to light it from the outside, as I assumed it was the same as the one on my little trailer, but it's not. Luckily, we have all the controls just right down here. Over here I've got it set to gas. Thermostat goes to 4. You hold this in for a bit, and this is the piezo lighter. So you hold this in and click it, and then the kind of neat thing over here, and it's kind of hard to see here right now, they just got a little reflector here, and what it does is it shows that the flame is lit. Really hard to tell in this light here right now, but I'm pretty sure it's lit. I did stick some water in here, and it's freezing on gas, so that was just liquid there this morning, and since I've lit it for gas, it's frozen. It's probably been a couple hours, so I'm assuming that works. I'll let it go all night. When it's dark out, I'll come out and see if I can see this flame here a little better. Now the next step, I'm trying to troubleshoot this furnace. So actually I've got the gas shut off here right now. I've got the drawers out here just so I can see the wiring in behind. As far as I can tell, we've got a power. This I believe is ground. It's placed into a white. That's the thing with these older trailers, is they've just used whatever colors they had, as long as they had wire. And again, I'm not a big fan of these splicers here, because it does tend to leave a little bit of wire here at the end of this one that's been cut off, and that could short out somewhere. So as far as I can figure right now, these two blue go up to my thermostat and control it. This I'm thinking is power to the fan, and the yellow is ground. Now my particular unit, it doesn't have an automatic ignition, so you do have to stick a match in here to light it. There's the push button, but it does have a fan on it. Now I've turned the thermostat to, excuse me, I don't have the cover on here right now, but there's off. So there's off on the thermostat, but you're supposed to turn it on, turn this up, and that fan should kick in. Now I did hook up a 12 volt battery because I believe these units need 12 volts to operate, and I don't think they'll operate through the converter. Now what you hear there now, that's another fan. I've got plugged in a portable unit, a 120 volt. So this fan right now, as far as I can see, it's not working. I'll just troubleshoot. I'll go down and maybe check the connections here and work backwards from there. Actually, correction, it did kick in. So the fan is working here right now. Because I was wondering, because I've got the wires running down here, so those two blue coming from the thermostat, and the ground wire and power wire. So the fan is working. I'll let that blow for a bit. Shut that off, shut the thermostat off, and then attempt to light it down here with a match. Thermocouple looks a little corroded in that, but we'll see if it works. I'm pretty sure the mistake I was making on this is I was just setting it in here. I've got that other heater going in here right now, so the trailer is fairly warm. My assumption is if it was really cold in here, I would just have to turn this from the off position. See there, it's making contact for off. My assumption is I just have to turn it to there and it would kick in, but it's so warm in the trailer right now. So now I'm going to put this to full. Wait a second. There, you saw it click in there, and you can hear the fan going there probably. And I'll turn it off. And now I'll turn it back on. So that seems to be working okay. Okay, I've been farting around with this for a bit, stuck a match in there. I think there was a lot of air in the lines, but I think they're cleared there now. You can see that blue flame. That's my pilot, and I'm just holding in the plunger here. I'll hold it in for a minute or so and we'll see if it takes. Okay, now I've let off on the reset button, so it's pulled out. You push it in when you want to light. And going over here, so I still have a pilot. Now you see that thermocouple, there's some corrosion and whatnot on it. I may have to replace that. But I guess the next step is to go up, we'll turn the thermostat on and we'll see what happens here. Okay, thermostat is off. Might as well click it over to as high as it goes, and then we'll go down below there and see if that has any effect. Okay, so far that's been on there for maybe 30 seconds. Still just a pilot light. So it's either not communicating with the unit or something's plugged. This is roughly, in my other one, excuse me, in my other one I roughly had the same problem. I just had a pilot light. I didn't have any big flame. I'm just going to leave the thermostat on in the highest position there now. I'll close this little flap and let it sit for a bit. It may decide to kick in. If we hear a big boom, we know it works. It's been a few minutes now. I still just have a pilot. My best guess right now is that thermocouple is not working. So the thermocouple has to heat up, and when it does, it throws the switch and allows gas to come in. So my guess that's defective. I've got a spare one kicking around. Looks like it may be a little complicated job to replace it though. Okay, again, this was just ignorance on my part. I wasn't totally familiar with this. I went up top and I turned the thermostat right to full, so the fan kicks in, and that seemed to fire the main burners. Now I don't know what happens for mid temperature range, whether the flame adjusts. And just going over this angle, looks like the burner is burning pretty good. There's some orange flame there. So I'm just going to leave this on now. I'm going to leave this on all night actually, and it's still going in the morning. We'll see how hot it is. It's supposed to get down to about 10 below zero tonight.